I don't even want to talk about the game. Let's not even talk about the game because I'm
All right.
just telling you right now. There may be people who have it queued up in their what's that thing called? Their tape recorder, and they haven't watched it yet. So let's not talk about
We're not going to talk about it.
it.
Well, I can talk. I can say this: my Patriots were not in it, and if the Pats aren't in it, is it really a Super Bowl?
Yeah,
I mean,
well, maybe. I mean,
yeah,
look, same thing
yeah,
here.
yeah.
The Panthers did not win the Super Bowl this year. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Well, they were this close, Teddy. They were like this. But hey, all good. Yeah, football fans. Now we're going into that dead time of year when they're no football.
What
The
we do, we
draft
get to
is,
get
yeah.
up off the couch.
I have to figure out some other excuse to sit on the couch all weekend and enjoy adult beverage. But I digress. Anyway, Randy Wooden with Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina and the director for our professional center. Yeah, we have a professional center at Goodwill, first of its kind, as far as we can tell in the country. Been doing it for about 10 years with Goodwill, and happy to help if you're a job hunter and maybe thinking about the next move, or the next move was forced upon you. There's some layoffs going on out there across the country, and so maybe you got caught up in that. But anyway, happy to help. We're free, no cost to you. Just contact me, find me on LinkedIn, and we'll get you on the calendar. Teddy, tell me about yourself.
Oh man, I'm golly,
Yeah.
Jay. I'm a social media strategist. I focus on teaching people two things. I teach LinkedIn as a business tool and Google Workspace and Gmail as business tools. I have two YouTube channels out there rich in videos waiting for you to come and watch them. By the way, if football season's over, you can sit on YouTube and watch my videos all day long. I love you for that.
That's a shameless plug if I ever heard one, but I may take you up on that. So
But yeah, we teach LinkedIn. We do public
yeah.
speaking, one-on-one coaching, workshops, seminars, all that stuff. But every week, Randy and I get together, and one of the this Monday show is all about promoting our Wednesday show. But we figure we're going to give you a little bit more on Mondays. So Randy has some research he does. Then we'll talk about some stories that Randy and I have. We'll tell you about our upcoming show on Wednesday at 11:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
We'll end this segment with a few tips that Randy and I can offer. So, dude, did you do the research?
Yeah, and you talked about stories. I mean, last week we learned about the Andy Griffith and all kinds of stories about Mayberry, and just had a good old time with that. But yeah, the day after the Super Bowl, and I'm off today, Teddy. So this is pretty important stuff. I come in on my day off to provide wit and wisdom.
Well, that Randy, it will be acknowledged in your employment review, which is scheduled for
excellent.
April.
All right, so births, deaths, and kind of cool stuff on this date in history, the 13th of February. Not a whole lot of births and deaths that are really huge, at least to me anyway, but I'll rattle off a few of them. But there are several events that were kind of cool. So first of all, 1885, Bess Truman, Harry Truman's wife, first lady of the U.S., born on that date, 1885. 1923, Chuck Yeager from West Virginia. First man
airplane dude.
Yep. First man to break the sound barrier. So that was pretty significant. I mean, I think you're going to die if that was kind of the thought was nobody could ever surpass that. All right. Jerry Springer, 1944, was born. Did you know he's from England? He was born in London.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I thought he ended up being, wasn't he the mayor of Cincinnati in addition to the show? I think he was the mayor.
Oh, really?
I think so. Don't quote me. I think he was. I didn't look it up. All right. So trivia for you. This guy was born in 1942. His name is Peter Thorkelson. Thorkelson.
I don't know him.
Nothing
Randy.
happening.
I don't know him.
Well, if you had a last name of Thorkelson and you wanted to be famous, anyway, this guy, he shortened it to Torque. Peter Torque. Now you know.
Torque Screwdrivers?
Hey, we're the monkeys. Yeah, he was one of the monkeys, but that was his real name, with Thorkelson. So I understand why he may have changed it. All right. So I'm easily confused, but when it comes to deaths, I was looking through these deaths and I thought, wait a minute. Alfred Einstein died on this date in 1952.
He couldn't get himself out of that with math, could he?
No, but that was Albert Einstein, the bright guy, right? Yeah. So this is the other Einstein So his name was Alfred.
Oh, was it his brother?
It's a mystery. No, I don't think so, but it could be. Anyway, I don't want to make too. I mean, the guy died, so I don't want to make too much light of it. But he was a musicologist. So I don't know what that means, but he was into music. So there you go. But there was an Alfred Einstein that is famous. So Waylon Jennings passed away in the state in 2002.
Yeah.
And Antonin Scalia, 2016, he was our 105th U.S. Supreme Court
judge, dude.
Yeah, so he passed. All right, so some fun things on this date in history.
Okay.
The year was 1633. Galileo. Did you know that was his first name?
Galileo, really?
No, I figured his first name was like, Ed.
Henry.
It's Galileo Galilei.
Huh.
That's his name. He went on trial from Italy. He went on trial because he claimed that unlike what the everyday thought was, that the everyday thought was that the sun revolved around the earth, because after all, we're the most important.
Yeah.
But he said, no, it's the other way around. And they put him on trial. So not a good day for him.
Yeah.
1861, Abraham Lincoln was declared U.S. president. Moving picture projector. I guess a movie projector. I don't know. But anyway, it was patented on this date in 1895. And here's a trivia question for you, Teddy. And I know you're not going to get the exact answer, but just this boggles the mind. And why they would go about doing this, I have no idea. But on this date, 1981, the New York Times published the longest sentence. How long?
Yeah.
How many words?
How many words the longest sentence?
Yeah, a couple 300 maybe. I don't know.
No, I'm going to go with 1,500.
Wow, close. 1286.
Yeah. You said I wasn't going to be exact, so I didn't want to say 1,200.
Well, you would have come close. And one last one. A lot of people really, really have enjoyed the Peanuts comic strip all these years. And on this date in 2000, the last original Peanuts comic strip appeared in newspapers, and it appeared one day after Charles Schulz passed away.
Huh.
So, and it's still running. You look in the Sunday page, it's still everywhere. Yep. All right. So, a quick story. I may have shared this earlier, but this whole Super Bowl thing. And years ago, my now ex-wife and I took a trip to Miami for a week before the Super Bowl. I'm a football fan, but I don't necessarily know or care where it's being played because I'm not going to attend it. It's no big deal. I don't care where it is. Well, little did we know that it was to be in Miami.
So you were driving down the road with everybody else?
We just kind of landed in Miami, came in on a Sunday, left on the next Sunday. Well, the Sunday that we left was the Sunday before the Super Bowl. So that's when all the people started coming in that week, leading up to the Super Bowl. But while we were in Miami, I started looking around and I started seeing Super Bowl logos and state stands erected along like roadways and displays and everything else. And I'm not the brightest guy, but I kind of put two and two together. I'm kind of glad we got out when we did, because that place, I mean, as you can imagine, it's a huge festive scenario. So anyway, all good on that end. Teddy, what you got?
All right, so here's my story, dude.
Yep.
You should have called me for the Super Bowl in Miami. But anyway, let's talk about another story. Hey, Randy, I've been doing this project with the Clemens, North Carolina Rotary. They had 2 high school students apply to be in this coaching program that me and a really good friend of mine, Cindy Martin. Cindy and I are coached since the end of December. We've been coaching these high school students to be public speakers, to speak about the Rotary 4-way test and how it applies to their life. And the last week after the show, Cindy and I, actually before the show, it was at 6:35 in the morning. Cindy and I went to the Rotary meeting and had our 2 students present, and they wowed the living daylights, whatever that means, out of the Rotary Club. Randy, it was unbelievable. These 2 high school kids who have never spoken public before. One of them was as timid as can be, has a stuttering problem. You would not have known that he had a stuttering problem while he was presenting, because he knew his stuff inside out, and he was absolutely fabulous. The other guy had his story down pat, and they both presented fantastically. I think that's the right word. And the really cool thing is these two students now get to go to another competition, a district level for Rotary, and they get to go compete there. I think the award is $1,000 cash. So wow. Whole lot of fun for me to be a part of watching these two guys grow.
Yeah, and you see them from start to finish too. You can see the progress they made. So, and that'll serve them well as they move through life too. So all good, man. And you know, Cindy's great. So I'm glad you guys were able to partner on that. So
yeah, she's a lot of fun to work with because she is really good. All right. You're hosting our special guest this week.
Yeah, Abby Donnelly comes back. She was on a year or two ago, and she's going to come back here on the 15th. We're going to talk about succession planning. She has a new book out too, by the way. We'll talk about that. But also not just from a business owner standpoint about who's going to take over and that kind of thing. But I mean, a lot of us are in middle management, senior management, whatever. And you know, what about us? I mean, for us to move up in the company, there's got to be somebody that hopefully can step in. Not always, but you know, they can always look outside the company. But you know, what do you do internally? Who are you grooming to be your replacement to encourage, you know, internal promotion? So we're going to cover all that. We hope you can join us on the 15th. And I have a tip for you. I saw an article online, so I know it's true. So just take that with the old grain of salt. There's another idiom for you.
Yeah.
But about talking about stress and what are some of the main stressors that we have? And it's things like sitting in traffic, you know, getting stuck in traffic, spilling something on you, dropping something at breaking, oversleeping, dealing with trying to get the kids off to school, that kind of stuff.
A lot of different things.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on, you know, and stresses on your job and everywhere. And so there's a lot of this stuff going on. Anyway, so what they did was they started to look at they surveyed a couple thousand people or whatever. And they said, so when are these things happening in the day? So Teddy, they were able to pinpoint the exact minute of the day by, you know, kind of averaging all the times when all this stuff happens. You know what the most stressful minute is? I'm not joking you. I got to make up jokes about all kinds of things, but
did they survey people coming out of the bar or going into the bar? I'm going to say the most stressful time of the day is 1:15 p.m.
No, I don't know why you thought that, but
leaving lunch and going back to work.
Yeah, that could be. Well, actually, it's 7:23 a.m. because going to work, getting the kids off to school. I'm late, or whatever. So there you go. And we had Melissa Hughes on a couple 3 times over the last few years, talking about how stress impacts the brains and cortisol and all the sciencey stuff with that. But the takeaway that I had from her, among many, was show gratitude. Mm-hmm. Think about things you're thankful for. It changes your mindset. Maybe get out and walk, especially if it's sunny out and you can soak up some of the rays. But be thankful, and it kind of rewires your brain a little bit to de-stress, and hope you live longer and less stress.
And that's a good thing. 7:28 a.m.
7:23. You don't want to be delayed with that, Teddy. You got to be on. You got to be on time, man. So there you go. There's my tip for you.
All right, here's my tip.
Yeah,
and I'm on my soapbox, and I'm going to rant and rave again, Randy. All right. So stand back, because here it comes. Okay. I don't know. Can I say this? I am sick and tired of people complaining about their online accounts getting hacked.
Yeah.
And they did not turn on 2-step authentication. They did not have a backup email address. They did not have a backup phone number. They did not copy the recovery codes. And then they go, I can't get into my bank account. I can't get into my insurance. I can't get into my Google. You've got to manage these things better. And the most important thing you do, because they all have it, is turn on 2-step authentication. I'm telling you right now, if you call me and tell me your account got hacked and you need to borrow $50, I'm going to ask you, did you have 2-step authentication on? If you say no, I ain't giving you $50.
Well, you're going to tell them to call me, and then I'll have to tell them the same thing.
That's my rant. Man.
Always good advice, Teddy, my friend. And we'll catch you on Wednesday. Who's our guest again?
Abby Donnelly,
Abby
11:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Show up. By the way, you can come and you can wear your shorts. You can wear your pajama bottoms. We don't care.
We don't.
Yeah, but show up though. All right,
All right, we'll see you
later
Wednesday.
on.
Yes, sir. Bye.